Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is part 10 of the evil mother-in-law saga. My heart is pounding because what she's about to say, and I feel like it's gonna be a huge bomb. If you've not seen the other part, you need to start from part one. But I promise you, this story is gonna get you enraged. Like every part of this story will get you furious. So just get your mind ready for
Of the
that.
Mother
Let's
Gothel
continue.
series. This is where everything finally starts to catch up to the present. This is February 2025, and this is the moment that I allowed Penny to move into my house. Things finally came to a head between Max and Penny. And if some of you are wondering, if I haven't made it clear, Colton and I are still together. But getting here wasn't easy. We both had a lot of growing to do. And I'll say again about cutting her off. It's not that simple. She was around from the day my kids were born. They loved her. They asked to see her. And I wasn't going to weaponize my kids because of issues between adults. That was between me, her, and Colton. My kids, above all else, come first. And when it started affecting my kids, that's when it changed. And at that time, cutting off family wasn't what people did, especially when you're young. It was always, that's your mom, that's their grandmother, you dealt with it. And Colton never fully wanted to cut her off. There was always that fear that something would happen to her because she instilled that in him. So yes, I stopped accepting the disrespect, but we also didn't fully walk away. And understand that I am not the same person I was 15 years ago. I say what I mean. I stand on what I say. I don't lie, and I don't talk behind people's backs. If I have a problem, I address it. I'm never mean for no reason. But if you're mean, I do enjoy being meaner. I know exactly who I am now. February. One night, Penny texted me and asked, what would you do if Colton went to a strip club? I texted back, divorce. It wasn't really about the strip club. It was about respect, about betrayal, about a pattern finally breaking. That night, she left Max and came to my house. Colton was out of state at an outage, so it was just me. I stayed up late with her, listening to her, calming her down. She had been with this man for 20 years. It wasn't just a strip club. It was everything. And I know some people watching this are probably thinking, why? Why would you let her move in after everything? Remember that things have been much calmer for a few years now. And it's just who I am. I try to help. I try to fix. I believed her pain, her hurt. In that moment, I didn't see a manipulator. I just saw my husband's mom. A woman who had just walked away from a 20-year relationship and had nowhere to go. So I opened my door. Over the next few days, Penny was devastated. I took her to see puppies to cheer her up. It started snowing heavily, so we went home. She realized she didn't have cigarettes. She texted Kieran, who lives 10 minutes away, and his response was, have Kaylin do it. He hadn't checked in on her, he hadn't called her since she left, so I went out in a snowstorm while trying to cook dinner for my kids to get her cigarettes. I don't like that she smokes, and I get on her hard about her smoking, but I wasn't going to let her spiral in the middle of a breakup. I gave her my son's room, and before anyone says it, yes, looking back now, I can see things I would have done differently. But when someone shows up at your door crying, you help them. And while I don't take people's shit anymore, I still struggle with being too empathetic. Colton came home 2 weeks later. At first, we really thought we were helping her start over. But living with someone is very different than rescuing them. Colton ran out and bought her a bed. We cleared an entire bedroom in the basement in one day. We spent $600 on a mattress. We never asked for rent. We paid for groceries. We did everything for her. Cooking, cleaning, appointments, support. And that's where we started to feel it again, the tension between helping her and protecting our peace. I took her to appointments. I went with her to her cardiologist. The doctor said plainly, if you don't cut down on smoking, you're headed for an early death. I was sitting right there. I have always tried to help her cut back, encourage patches, encourage the gum, less smoking, but you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And this is where I should have realized nothing had actually changed. She slept all day. She walked through my house in socks after smoking and walking through wet grass. I kept telling myself, she's just going through a hard time. She's adapting to living in someone else's home. She wore shoes upstairs on my brand new carpet, left dishes, didn't vacuum. She would spray perfume like over her cigarette smoke, which did not help my asthma or my son's because Liam did end up with asthma. I asked her to vacuum and the vacuum sat there. She didn't help out. It became heavy. Colton was constantly doing things for her, And I understood why he was trying to make her comfortable so we could all live peacefully, but it changed the dynamic in our house. And when someone lives with you, there's no privacy. There's no quiet processing. We couldn't have an argument without her listening. Almost immediately after she left, Max started texting her. Long paragraphs. He was lonely, in pain, didn't know what to feed the dog. The dog he's had for 4 years now. The dog was depressed. He would flip from pleading to furious. Then he guilted her with saying the dog's depressed, he won't eat, he won't play. I have these texts. She would go over there. She would leave and not come back till the next day. My kids would ask, where is Nani? Is she coming back? Is she staying? It became unstable. One day, Max sent her a long rant, and one of the things he said in it was, after all the years of shit you told me Kaylin did, are you that big of a monkey to believe her? That's when it clicked again. She still never stopped. Even while I was helping her with everything, supporting her through a breakup, being there for her, she still was talking about me, still telling stories. Over those first few months, March, April, May, I kept trying to have calm conversations with her. I did speak up, unlike years ago. Conversations about boundaries, about respect, about how living in someone else's home requires effort. I told her I didn't need her to help me clean my house. I needed her to pick up after herself. But I started noticing something familiar. Anytime you tried to address something she did, even gently, she would turn it. It would get nasty, defensive, sharp. It was the same pattern she had had for years. You couldn't talk about her behavior without it becoming an attack on character. And we were all walking on eggshells. And Colton was right in the middle of it. I would text him every day, telling him what was happening. He would talk to her and nothing would change. He was trying to hold everything together, and it was breaking everything in the middle. But at this point, even with everything, our marriage is solid. We argued, but no one and nothing was going to come in between us, even when she tried. Meanwhile, Max is still orbiting. Some days he was furious, some days he was pleading. She told me he couldn't get his dealer over and was going through withdrawals, so she had to go help him detox, which never really happened. She said he was spiraling. He threatened to move to Florida and take the dog with him. I tried to stay neutral, encouraging, told her maybe that would be a fresh start, but she couldn't detach. She would say she couldn't leave him like that. Then she would text me and say she just wanted to come home, meaning my house. Back and forth. Max sent messages calling her a lazy nuisance, an idiot, telling her to stay away from the house and Nico, the Rottweiler, saying she needed to apologize. He also wrote, quit listening to people with an agenda, meaning me. What agenda? I had taken her into my home, supported her through the breakup, done everything for her. If I had an agenda, it was stability. By late spring, we realized something else. She didn't leave the chaos. She just moved it into my house. She talked to him all day. She was back and forth. She was still with him, just not with him. So we thought if she had something that was hers, something that brought her comfort, maybe it would stabilize everything. So we talked about getting her the puppy she was never allowed to have. And we were very clear that this was her responsibility. And at the time, it seemed like a good idea. But I quickly realized that bringing her into my home might have been the biggest mistake we made. Because what happened next is what finally broke everything. Part
It's funny how I know that like from the story she's saying, the woman never changed. And getting her that dog, you will still be the one responsible for it. She doesn't sound like somebody that that likes being responsible for anything. So long as anything is not going in her favor, what years? Guys, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like my head is so full. Somebody say, stop talking in cliffhangers since like the story is going in circles. People think it's easy to sit and tell story. If you are not the one telling it, you think it's simple and easy. Just go straight forward. You think it's easy. Yeah, she's an amazing mom. Someone say you and Cotton are still together. Yeah, yeah. The Cotton loves her now. The guy is a good guy. The guy is a solid guy. That's why the mom doesn't want anybody to take Cotton away from her. Because look at the other one. The other one doesn't even pay her attention. So say the cliffhangers are not an issue. People can be impatient. Very Max like. Shots fired. Oh. See, I'm glad to hear that you and Cotton are still together. Yeah. Something to watch out here is that your kids are witnessing all of the disrespect towards you. And even though you say let it happen because you are empathic and it's your husband's mom, your kids could think that that kind of behavior towards you is okay. That's true. And kids learn best from observation. Very true. I didn't even think about it. Hmm. Towards you is okay because you don't stand up to yourself and let the disrespect happen. I haven't finished watching all of the episode, and I agree that there are things that we cannot change about how past versions of ourselves react. But I think that now you guys should set the example of respecting your own boundaries and self-love by not letting other people abuse and disrespect you. This is very important. Very, very important. Because now it's no longer just hand cutting. Children are involved and they are learning, they are seeing, they're already 10 and 8. So they know what's happening. But they're already more than that. So the girl should be 13 by now. No, yeah. It's important to set such boundaries and stand by it. Guys, I'll see you in the next part. Take care of yourself. Like and subscribe. Bye.